Alrighty, we are live with session 27 of our Drowned Gods campaign, and we are going to get started. As always, everyone reset your hero point pools to 1. I think I went through and updated everyone's sheets because a few people had forgotten to give themselves a night's rest for last time. And otherwise, let's go to the Akalupu notes.
All right. Going to explore and see what's around town. We see houses are like houses stacked on other houses. Get mushroom from Sneaky Pointy Dog. Trying to break into houses, but don't. Don't know why we were trying to break into houses. The wizard takes little bite of mushroom and later starts running away screaming. The strong one and the witch chase after the wizard. They camp and continue in the morning, but run into Jiggly Boy. Jiggly Boy tastes good. That's about it.
There you go. All right, who wants to give a recap for an extra hero point? All right, I guess I will give the recap and I'll keep the hero point. Works for me. So last time we picked up with right after you guys had settled into the stall for the night. And an extremely over-caffeinated Manawanui was nowhere near ready to go to sleep and decided he wanted to go out and take a look around. Pipiopi, on the other hand, was definitely ready for some rest and shooed them all out of the stall so he could try to get some rest. And so Akalupu and Sammy joined Manawanui in exploring the town. You guys decided to head into Ponyville and look around, evidently for anyone shady business, anyone who's like trying to steal things or looking suspicious, which I'm not sure why that's your go-to, but yeah, you did in fact find some shady business. You found a unicorn wearing a trench coat in a dark alley who was offering to sell you some mushrooms. And of the 3 that she was selling, you guys decided that you wanted to get a hold of the Bloody Knees, which was a crimson red mushroom with yellow kind of veiny stuff on it. And unfortunately, you guys found out that money is a thing and not a thing that you have. But Manawanui, being the trickster that he is, managed to find some magic that actually was able to get the mushroom anyway. You guys used was it
charitable
urge? Yeah. So you guys used charitable urge and were able to convince the unicorn to give you a mushroom for free, which she then did. And this was after I think mushroom was after you'd checked doors. So you had been wandering around trying to look into buildings. Akalupu had been just like staring through windows and licking them, I imagine.
Only when there was food on the other side.
Yeah. But yeah, so you guys had been wandering around and then you decided to check out some alleys to see if anything was accessible. So you tried doors to see if any were unlocked. Unfortunately, you didn't have any, well, probably fortunately, actually, you didn't find any that were unlocked. You did find a rather strange looking door that had teeth, and Manawanui talked Akalupu into trying to open it, and Akalupu just barely pulled his fingers back from the doorknob before the teeth closed down and would have chomped them right off. So yeah, and then the mushroom thing happened. And then with the encouragement of the group, Manawanui decided to try some of the mushrooms. So he sliced off a bit of the top and ate it. And at first he felt nothing. It felt perfectly normal, and he thought he'd been gypped, and he called the unicorn some choice names. But ultimately, as he found out not too long afterward, it was actually just that it was an edible. It's not going to take effect immediately. Then, meanwhile, back at the farm, we had Pipiopi, who was trying to get some sleep. he had a strange dream where he found himself in a forest with branching paths going left and right. And no matter which direction he chose, it always seemed to lead him back to the same opening once again. And eventually he heard a voice, a female voice from behind him, and turned around and went backward instead of forward. And that immediately led him out into a large opening in the forest, where he saw a white unicorn with strawberry mane and tail, who seemed to be grazing on the lush grass in the area. And he approached her, and once he got her attention, he expected to perhaps finally see his mom, but instead what he saw has scarred him to this day, because when the unicorn turned around, it had Loki's head instead of a horse's head, which could not have been a pleasant sight. And of course, Pipiopi woke up after that shock to the system, but discovered he was no longer alone. So unsure of what the presence near him was, he jumped up, grabbing his knives, only to find find a girl who was kind of sitting Japanese style next to him. And after a minute, he started to get the sneaking suspicion that this was Yasuka. But then, after asking who it was, Yasuka confirmed that indeed she had polymorphed herself into a human form. You will also note that Yasuka is no longer just a random unicorn that I grabbed off the internet. She actually has a token now. And full picture of her. That's not what I wanted to happen. I tried to drop the image in and it just loaded it as the only thing on the page. Let's try that again. There we go.
I think it worked fine for me. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know why it made her 90 feet tall. Anyway.
Ooh, Pipiopi thinks she's cute.
So yeah, there is Yasuka. And obviously she would be, like I said before, she has kind of her military outfit, so she'd be wearing like some leather and cloth armor and stuff, but I just went ahead and made all of the characters just without outfits, since who knows what they're wearing at any given time. But yeah, so that's Yasuka. She has a picture now. But yeah, so he was surprised, and once he found out who it was, and was no longer worried about being stabbed in the throat, he told Yasuka, "You scared me. I almost killed you." But Yasuka's response was just, "Oh, silly boy, you think you could kill me?" Because Yasuka's a level 5 sorcerer, so
yeah, secretly a badass witch.
Yeah, she's actually pretty badass right now compared to you guys. Now, of course, as a non-player character, she's not gonna be like she's not gonna be like level 6 when you're level 4, right? But she has been working as a warrior for quite some time on the island, so well, not that long. She's not that old, but anyway. Would have been hard to kill her in one stab is all I'm saying. But yeah, so I guess here's a good way to put it. She has as many hit points as Akalupu, and she's a magic class.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it. So anyway, yeah, so Yasuka and Pipiopi kind of talked for a little while and talked about how, Pipiopi said that he didn't explain why, so I don't think Yasuka knows that anything about your mother. I don't think you've shown the picture of your mother to anyone yet, so she doesn't know much. She knows that you are looking for your mother, and she's said that she wants to help you poor little orphan, try to find your mother. But yeah, she doesn't know that much, but you did say that, you thought you might be at least part unicorn, and you tried to use some magic and tried to polymorph. Unfortunately, nothing happened, but Jessica did say that perhaps someone who's a little bit more trained in magic would be able to help you to potentially unlock any hidden secrets you have. She is a sorceress, so her magic is very much instinct based. Like, she just does it and it happens. Like, that's all she knows. So she's not going to be much help in actually teaching you how to do anything. But yeah, so you guys talked about that.
Know-it-alls.
No, the problem is she's not the opposite of a know-it-all. She just it's like an anime character, right? Where it's driven by like emotions and instinct, rather than like a wizard where it's something that you know and can teach, right?
Yeah. I just mean like it comes naturally.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, sorceresses or sorcerers, basically it's just like part of their bloodline, part of their lineage. They just are magical. But yeah, so you guys talked about that. You guys ended up having some other conversations. I don't think anything else too notable happened. Forget if you asked for any more backstory on what was going on the island. I don't think so. I think that was Mono and Nui, who we'll catch up with in a minute. And then yeah, so you guys after conversing for a while, you decided it was time to go back to sleep. And as you were settling back into sleep, Yasuka kind of scooched up and asked if you wanted to use her lap as a pillow, which you gratefully accepted the offer, and you fell asleep to her petting your head and the smell of lilacs and lemonade that she gives off, and fell into a dreamless and restful sleep. And then meanwhile, not back on the farm, Manawanui had eventually been talked out of breaking into someone's business for literally no reason. It's a sad day when Akalupu is the voice of reason. But yeah, and after being talked out of that, you guys decided to actually go, find someone to talk to, which was not difficult. You found someone on a street corner, kind of smoking a cigarette. And you talked to them a little bit. I think you did get a little bit more information about what was going on. You kind of asked about the city and which side they fell on. And she said that the mayor was kind of on the left hill side, and that's kind of where people generally roughly fell because of that. But that in general, it was largely undecided, and that most people kind of just let them fight amongst themselves. Manawanui asked if by fighting she meant, harsh words, and she said, yes, there's definitely a lot of those, but did not clarify further. But then the mushroom started kicking in, and Manawanui started seeing some strange things. He saw the unicorn with 3 red glowing eyes, and turning around after being surprised by that, he saw Akalupu as a huge hulking spiked figure, and Sammy is a avian winged creature with sharp talons, kind of like a harpy. And then turning back to the unicorn, she had transformed even further, now looking like what the Cocoa Biters had drawn the unicorns to be like. And Manawanui, quite understandably, under all of that, freaked out and ran off into the woods. So Akalupu and Sammy ran off after him and started tracking him through the woods. Eventually, they ended up setting up camp kind of later in the night, and did get some rest. Meanwhile, Manawanui had kind of just blacked out. And so then we pick up the next morning, and we have Pipiopi, who's awoken, and Yasuka is back in her unicorn form, but Pipiopi is still using her front limbs as pillows. So she must have shifted you at some point, since obviously you were on her back limbs when she was in human form, not on her arms. But yeah, so you guys woke up and noticing that your friends were still missing, and worried that Akalupu had pulled an Akalupu and gotten them into trouble. you guys headed out to try and find them and were able to pretty quickly find some rumors that some of these strange tentacle hoof monsters had run off into the woods screaming about how their face was on fire or something. And so you guys set off to rescue them. Meanwhile, back in the woods, Akalupu and Sammy had gotten up and continued tracking Manawanui and ran into a slime up here. And Manawanui woke up with bloodied knees and no memory of what had transpired other than a strong conviction that whatever had happened had been totally kick-ass and awesome. And he found himself near some other slimes, and then we had combat, a bunch of stuff happened, PPOP, and Yasuka showed up, and the cavalry was there to save the day. Meanwhile, Akalupu, between both eating the jello shots and being glorped on by them, he has contracted a disease, as has Manawanui. And I think that catches us up pretty well to you having defeated all of these. I mean, you guys should feel terrible. Look at these cute little guys you murdered.
Well, what monsters?
You guys are the real monsters. These guys were just in their natural habitat, doing what slimes do, looking cute.
Speaking of monsters, you two do not look good.
And then the one other thing I do want to point out, because I'm going to keep mentioning this until I also forget. Don't forget, Akalupu, you have a pink stone in your bag that you don't know what it does.
It's shiny.
It is shiny, and it also does something, and you don't know what it is. Anyway.
The suspense. I love it. So yeah, you two look pale. We should get you checked out.
We could take them to, I guess, like the doctor in town, or if you guys wanted to head to like the separatist faction that I was talking about, BlackRock is like actually pretty good about these sorts of things, because yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys have like jungle scurvy or something. And then BlackRock, you'll remember, is who, when she was talking about the three factions, you have the left side, the right side. So the left side are the ones who want people to work together, but in a weird way. The right side are the people who don't want people to work together, but in a weird way. And then the middle are the people who kind of like don't agree with either side. And she has described them as being kind of dangerous malcontents. But she said that if you told them Yasuka said hi to BlackRock, you might not get beat up as badly. So you would recognize the name.
Akalupu doesn't want to walk. Where's closest?
Closest is definitely just back at Ponyville.
To Ponyville we go.
Alright, so you guys head back to Ponyville. Boop.
Are these acting coughs or real coughs?
We started off as real coughs and then moved into acting coughs. Because I thought, like how the guy who voiced General Grievous in the Revenge of the Sith, he actually had a cold when he was recording his stuff, but they decided it sounded good, so we did it for the rest of them.
Nice.
Basically me.
Makes sense.
Classic.
A real method actor.
Yeah, I actually gave myself some unknown disease.
You just started licking doorknobs, and eventually it'll happen.
Especially at the bathrooms at Starbucks. The only public restrooms in that entire plaza.
Yep. All right, so you guys head back to Ponyville. It does take you probably about 3 to 4 hours. So it's a little bit afternoonish at this point as you guys are rolling back into town. So she's like, all right, I guess like we should go find the doctor or whatever.
You're scaring the child.
I'm sorry. I'm too much in my role.
All right.
Yes.
So you guys go and try to following Yasuka, and go ahead.
I was going to say, if I remember correctly, my Mononui's disease is going to onset the next day, correct?
So, Manawa Nui's disease actually doesn't start for 4 days. Or not Manawa Nui, Akalupu's doesn't start for 4 days. Manawa Nui's does start, so tomorrow is when you would hit stage 1.
So Mononui's not feeling well. He wants to go see someone.
Oh yeah, so both of you, like, where the slimes had been glorping on you, is like there's an angry rash there at this point. It itches, it stings, and especially on Manawanui, you start to see little like bits of green fuzz.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, and it is spreading up your legs.
Is there dead flesh?
No.
Then add a spell I was gonna try if it was.
Nope. Sadly, no dead flesh. All right, so you guys end up going and finding the doctor. She has a little building, and it's got, the stereotypical like cross symbol and all that. And she's when you go in, she's wearing like a stethoscope and a white lab coat and the whole thing. And so,
Is it a human or a horse?
it's a unicorn.
Okay.
But yeah, so you guys go in, and the doctor is, responds to the bell from kind of the back room. And it's just like, I'll be out in a second. And then you see her emerge in, costume as described. And so Yasuka's like, so I have these like pet noodle hoof monsters, and like pets do, they decided to kind of run off last night, and they ended up getting lost in the woods, and I finally found them, and they were like totally just like sticking their noses in a bunch of slimes or something, and I think a couple of them like picked up a disease or whatever. So the doctor kind of looks you guys over, and she says, well, there's like not a whole lot I can do for these. I'm like a unicorn doctor, not like a pet doctor. You probably want to go to the vet or whatever.
Do unicorns not get this kind of fungus?
Oh, they can talk? You should have said that. Are they actually pets? They're like sort of pets, but like kind of also my friends. So anyway, after a couple of more exchanges, eventually she will actually try to do something. So let me try rolling her healing.
It fails.
I mean, it could. All right, 24. That's pretty good. And that's gonna be on who's getting treated first?
Rakalupu, as soon as we get here, like flops on the ground and starts writhing like he's gonna die. Because he's a big baby.
I don't know. Akalupu gets beaten up a lot and is kind of fine.
But he doesn't like being sick.
Fair.
He can get beat up all he wants. Like, that doesn't bother him. Punch him in the face doesn't bother him. But if he gets like the sniffles, it's the end of the world.
Yeah, and you're not even that sick. Because yours isn't going to start for like 4 days.
Oh yeah, but Akalupu doesn't care.
All right, let's see. So, medicine or treat poison. Poison's DC, which was 18. 18, but not a crit success, just a normal success. So, when you roll for your disease tomorrow to see whether you improve or not, you will have a +2 bonus on your save. So she's able to like get some antifungal cream or something and spread it on there. And then let's see about Manawa Nui. She rolls even better. Still not quite a crit, close. All right, so both of you. So she gets you on the table and starts looking you over. And says, all right, so it looks like you guys picked up like slime rot, which, you know, that's pretty gross, because like if you die to it, you end up like having a chest burster moment where like a slime crawls out of you, and yeah, you do not want that. So here's some cream, spread this on it, like, you know, every morning, you know, about 1 ounce of it across any area that's affected, and you can tell what's affected by like all the red bumpy stuff and whatever. And like you should probably be totally fine within a couple of days.
This is amazing. I wish every doctor interaction went like this. You would totally have an alien chest burster moment. So here's some cream.
Yep. All right, so that is that. You guys will have both of you have a +2 to try and stave off the disease come tomorrow. And the itching and burning has subsided significantly as the cream goes on. There's a cooling sensation that spreads across it. You can still feel it, but it's much better.
Oh.
You guys are as good as new.
All right, and then you know, she's like, all right, that'll be 250 bits. Yes, because like, oh, I like forgot my bits at home. Can I like give you an IOU or whatever? The doctor sighs exaggeratedly. It's like, fine. So IOUs are exchanged.
In the sacred texts where I come from, they send you the bill after you go to the doctor.
All right, so you guys head outside now.
Yeah, we need to regroup.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, he is much more concerned than when he first came in.
You know,
He's got serious doubts about this whole cream business.
yeah, Yasuka looks a bit downcast as she puts the IOU away in her bag, in one of her saddle pouches, saddlebags, whatever you want to call them.
Is 250 bits a lot?
I mean, it's not like not a lot, but like it'll be fine. I could like ask for an advance or whatever.
We should have a car wash. You know, like a fundraiser.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have time though. Aren't you like looking for your mom or whatever?
What if my mom sells soap for the car wash?
I don't know what like a car is, but like if your mom sells soap, that would be pretty cool.
So we could do that, or we could continue on our main quest.
Mono literally took up to Akluku because he's totally not paying attention to any of this. He's just concerned about his leg at this point. He's like, did she say at the morning every day? When did she say? Did she say when it itches?
Is like just constantly.
I think you're on mute, Anna.
My whoops!
When it itches.
I did the opposite direction.
Oops.
Yeah, Akalupu's just like every time he thinks about it, putting the cream on. So I don't know if Akalupu's a good person to ask.
Yeah,
Like,
you
he's, like,
you
at
probably
this
have
moment
gone
putting cream
through
on.
half of the cream already.
Yeah. Like as you're asking that, Akalupu is like putting the cream on and just gives you this very confused look. Like, what are instructions?
Sammy comes up and is like, oh, she said to put it on every morning, just on the red areas.
Yeah, can't be too safe though, you know. So might as well just like put a little bit more on right now.
I mean, Sammy's not going to stop
still
you.
putting the cream on, but he's also... Akalupu is hungry. Akalupu thinks we should find food. Also, what is car?
That is like a really good question.
It's something Ka told me.
You start
But I
muttering
don't know.
about internal combustion engines.
Apparently, they go through a lot of soap.
Hmm.
They go through a lot of
Akalupu's not
dead
a fan of soap.
dinosaurs. I don't even know if you guys know what soap is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure your tribe has not hit the point that you have invented soap.
You know what, like pumice is, you know.
Yeah, you would know what pumice is.
His mom works at the pumice shop.
Well,
Just use some
on the subject of food, I'm like also pretty hungry. What are you guys feeling right now? You guys like we could go to like get some wraps or like you know, if we wanted to get smoothies or something?
I love smoothies. I don't know what a smoothie is, but it sounds delicious.
Oh my gosh, you've never had a smoothie? They're like, you take like delicious things and you like smush them up until you can like drink them through a straw. It is amazing.
I want a mushy, delicious drink.
Akalupu also likes smashing things together.
Okay, let's go. So she's gonna head off and she finds a place called, I'm trying to think of a unicorn pun for Jamba Juice. And nothing is coming to mind, so Jungle Juice. So you guys pull up on a place called Jungle Juice. It's kind of a one of the smaller stalls in the back. They have a few different machines that have some sort of magically turning barrel that is keeping some sort of liquid churning. And so she's like, "All right, what do you guys want?" Or I guess I'll order for me, and then like you guys can order whatever you want. The menu is right there, and she points up at a sign that is written in a language you guys don't understand. And so she goes up. I want like the green extreme plays medium. And then she kind of scoots to the side and looks expectantly back at y'all.
Akalupu goes up. I want red extreme large.
And so the person kind of working behind it kind of looks back and says, so you want the red tide?
Yes. That is what Akalupu said. The red one.
Okay, coming up. Manawanui, Pipiopi.
Manawanui's gonna go up and say, "What do you recommend?"
Well, it kind of depends on the mood I'm in. Are you looking for something kind of like earthy and filling, or like fruity and light, or kind of like floral and like surprising?
We will go with floral.
All right, one lavender twist coming up. What size do you want, Sweetie?
A large.
Alrighty.
I'll have a small, something fruity.
Okay. What kind of fruity are you looking for? Kind of like a sweeter one, or tangy, or like citrus?
Tangy.
All right.
Sour.
A mango? Mango passion fruit surprise it is. And then Sammy is too timid to order, so she does not. She just sits in the background and hopes nobody notices that she didn't order. All right, and then Akalupu has already noticed this thing. So does Pipiopi or Manawanui want to roll? What did we have you roll last time? Was it perception or diplomacy?
I think Manawanui rolled diplomacy. If Anna's saying something, I can't hear her.
I said perception.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, do Pipiopi and Manawanui want to roll perception to maybe notice the gender disparity at this point?
I will give it a shot.
22.
Get out my physical dice. Got a +6. Don't leave me now. Nat 20. So
Nice.
it's a 26.
All right, so yeah, both of you definitely, like, at this point, it finally hits you that every person that's been working any of these stores is female. Almost every interaction you've had has been with females. You ran into a few males kind of on the beach when you were getting swarmed by the looky-loos. But that's been pretty much it. Otherwise, you've only kind of seen them around, but there have not been very many of them.
Oh my god, they were going to kill Pipiopi as a baby.
Oh my god.
So
We need to get out of here.
I know.
What if they find out?
Get to the chop block.
All right, are you guys actually having that conversation?
I thought so.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
What are you guys talking about? Who's gonna take you to the chop block?
He said chakra. Whatever that is, this guy.
I know what a chakra is, and it still does not explain why you guys are like saying you need to leave or whatever.
Where are all the boys?
On an unrelated note.
What do you mean? Like, they're around? Like, there's one over there. And she points to this one guy, and it is a male unicorn. He's just kind of like, he's sitting at a table, He has a smoothie. His is bright purple. And he's at a table with 3 female unicorns, and they seem to be chatting and having a good time.
But look,
Is
there's only one.
there like some sort of quota, or where like if you go over a certain amount of like children?
No, there's nothing weird like that.
Just seems that there's a lot more female of y'all.
Yeah. Aren't there like more female like hoof tentacle monsters or whatever you guys are?
No,
No,
No.
look, we're all boys.
I just thought that was like a coincidence, or like you guys like hung out together or whatever. Are there like 4 times as many boys as girls with you? That's like super weird.
it's more like half and half.
Half and
Take a
half?
rest.
So like most of your women like are just single forever?
Not sure I follow.
Well,
Most
like
of your what?
well, like yeah, just a good stud usually has like 4 to 10 ladies or whatever. If you guys are like half and half, then like most of your ladies wouldn't be able to find, or no, it would be the other way around. Strike that, reverse it. She said most of your dudes would be single. So like
Yes.
most of your guys would just like be alone forever. Like that would be super sad.
Well, yes, it is sad. But some people find people that they hate very much and still have very long lives with them.
That is like pretty weird. If you hated each other, then like wouldn't you be better off just like staying out of each other's way? At this point,
Oh,
your
that's-
smoothies have come out.
That's what you gotta do when it's 50-50, you know? It's just a roll of the dice.
That is really sad. No wonder there's a bunch of you boys just like decided to leave your island. That sounds horrible.
Well, we found the right island. Now we can just have 4 or 5 ladies. Then we'll like at least one of them.
Akalupu's gonna fit in very well here.
Yeah, as long as like you can find someone who likes you too.
So, if you have a child, what are the chances of it being a boy?
I don't know exactly what it is, but like probably like I don't know, like 1 in 10 or whatever.
Oh. Interesting.
So we're hot commodities.
I mean, if you guys were like not weird like hoof tentacle monsters, then definitely.
But look at how manly we are.
So she giggles at that. She's like, "Yeah, I mean, like you're pretty convincing when you say that, but like the other two, I don't know. They seem kind of like different. You like almost make me, I don't know, like you make me feel like you are one of us, right? But then like little guy over there, and then like Mr. Muscles. I don't know. They just they don't feel the same, if that makes sense."
It all lines up with my theory of being part unicorn.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. Sorry, hit my mic. Hopefully that wasn't super loud.
Didn't just like
Nope, it
deafen
blocked
all of
it.
us. Yeah.
Nice. That's good. But yeah, you said that earlier. Like, well, how would you even be part unicorn? Like, I don't think there are very many unicorns not on this island. At least not that I know of.
So from what I can gather, based on the story that my father told me, is that he had a fling with a unicorn who had left your island. And we live on an island not too far away. I mean, about a week's journey, maybe a couple weeks. How long were we out there? I forget.
I mean, there was also like weird ghosts teleporting and stuff, so the amount of time y'all took to get there is kind of all over the place.
Not too far away. So I think that my mother may have fled from someone or something and ran into my father on her way.
Ixnay on the fugitive bay.
Oh, that is pretty interesting. Where did your mother go then?
Nobody knows.
That is so mysterious. Well, hopefully
Yeah,
we're able to
so-
find her.
I agree, but all I have to go on is this silly looking picture. And I finally show somebody the picture.
Not
So-
your good buddies.
So Yasuka looks it over and says, huh, this is an interesting one. I don't know who the artist was. It's like, I don't know. I can't decide if it's really pretty good or just absolutely awful. It does look kind of familiar, though. I can't quite place it, but I feel like I've seen a unicorn who, like, kind of looks like this before.
Do you know who it is?
I really wish I did, but it's, like, not coming to me. I'll try to keep thinking about it, but...
Well, let me know if you think of any clues. Any clues.
Okay, I mean, I guess it kind of looks a little bit like, and she does not pause here because she would know the name. I just have forgotten it, so I'm looking it up real quick. It kind of looks a little bit like Princess Starfire. She has like that same golden horn. Not Starfire.
Golden horn.
Sunbeam. Sorry. Looks kind of like Princess Sunbeam. She has like the same golden horn, and so does her mother. Very different, like, main colors, though.
Maybe they could
anybody
be
else?
related in some way.
Do any other like horse, pony, unicorns have that color of horn, or is it like just that family?
Not very many. There are a few, but golden horns are definitely pretty rare.
That's great. That's a good clue to go on. Surely somebody will be able to tell us about golden horned unicorns.
Yep. And then as a quick reminder on the picture, the picture is of a unicorn with a white coat, a strawberry mane and tail, and a golden horn.
And it is subtly, not so subtly, sexualized.
Oh yeah, it is definitely uncomfortably sexy for a horse with a horn on it.
That's your mom.
You're not gonna respond to Manawanui?
Manawanui said something?
Yeah, he said, "That's your mom?" Question mark.
Yes. This is the only evidence I have of my mom. I was embarrassed to show you guys. Don't make fun of me.
No, she's very very horse-like.
Your mom's hot.
Oh no, that's what I was afraid of.
Well, I'm just gonna give like a elbow jab to Akalupu, but it really doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you elbow him in the ribs, but it hurts your elbow. It makes like a clanking noise, like if you were hitting a metal pot.
What did you eat?
Everything.
So yeah, this is all we have to go on for finding my mom. But in the meantime, I think we should just try and do that while we're going after our main objective here.
Yeah, if anyone knows about it, it would be like one of the two queens, or like maybe BlackRock's mom. They like know everybody, and they'd be about the right age to know your mom.
Perfect. Let's go talk to the groups.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I'm
grab
actually
his
on
lip.
leave for the next couple of days, so like if you guys wanted a guide, I could like totally show you around.
We could use a guide. We don't know anything.
Okay. So, where do you want to go first? Do you want to go to like the left mountain, the right mountain, or do you want to go in the middle?
I think we should stick with our initial instinct which was to go to the cleavage first.
Okay. I haven't seen Black Rock in like a while, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. Old friends.
Alright, so you guys, after finishing off your smoothies, all of which were excellent, you guys head off. And the path is, like for a ways, she's taking you on roads, but at a certain point, she kind of just veers off into the forest and starts going along some dirt trails that seem to be kind of medium traffic. Like there's enough that it's compacted down the earth to make it fairly easy to walk on, and it's relatively smooth. There's not a whole lot of difficult landscape to go over. The plants seem to be fairly well under control. And after a couple hours into the forest, eventually you hear a voice from off in the side. You can't, well, I don't know, you guys can roll perception if you want to try and find the source of it. But you hear a voice that says, "Halt, what is your business?"
Can I roll perception to see if I can't find it?
Yes, anyone who wants to try and spot the source of the voice can roll perception.
Akalupu got a 24.
I got a 20. Not a nat 20, but a 20. A 14 plus a 6.
All right, PPOP, are you gonna?
Do I need to if they saw it?
You don't have to, but you won't see it.
Okay, I got a nat 20, 29.
Nice. All right. So, Akalupu and Manawanui, you guys both do spot the source of the voice. Kind of some ways back in the foliage, you see a unicorn who is wearing a ghillie suit, somewhat similar to the one PPOP made. So she is blending into the background pretty well, but you guys caught maybe a glint off of her horn or a little bit of movement and were able to spot her. And you can see that she has a bow and arrow trained on you guys. PPOP, you actually see a little bit more than that. You not only spot her, but then looking around further, you notice that there are 3 other figures in the woods who are also similarly, like they're crouched pretty motionless, but they seem to also be prepared to spring into action should that become necessary.
Took our sails.
Guys, I think we're surrounded. Act natural.
I'm only gonna ask this one more time. What is your business? Either speak now or be gone with you.
Oh, We're here to see. Is Jessica with us, or is
Yes.
it just us?
Yasuka is with you.
We're here to see. Not Blackfire.
Black Rock.
Black Rock.
Correct.
With friends.
Yeah,
So-
Jessica's here.
So Yasuka that does speak up is like, yeah, we're like here to see Blackrock and like her mom. We kind of have some stuff we need to talk about. Don't worry, these guys are like not dangerous or whatever, and like I'm cool. So there's a bit of a pause, and then a couple of exchanged whispers, and then you guys probably, all of you notice at this point, one of the figures who had been silent kind of breaks off and heads off back the direction that you guys are headed. And then the one who spoke earlier says, all right, you guys may enter, but if you guys cause any funny business, we will not hesitate to whoop your asses, okay?
Loud and clear.
All right, follow me. And so the one who was speaking kind of comes out and starts heading down the trail and leads you further on a ways. And after a couple of minutes, you start to see the forest thinning out a little bit. And then in front of you, you guys see yourselves a proper little Ewok village. There's a small town up ahead, built into the trees. You could see there are walkways to get up, and then various rope bridges connecting the different buildings. Down on the ground level, there appears to be some agriculture going on. They're growing different crops, and they have some different domesticated animals, it looks like. And then you can also hear, the just like chatter of people. It seems to be smaller than Ponyville, so there's less people, but it's got a similar amount of kind of setup. But then you can also see, if you're paying attention, that a lot of it is also set up in a more martial or fashion. So a lot of different redundancies of different, watchtowers, and there's some wooden palisades that would make it difficult to approach, and a few different trenches that have been dug, stuff like that. And so she leads you on. And the
Is there a role? Is there a role I could do to like analyze the defenses or no?
if you want to, I think that would probably would make sense.
Boneyard lore?
No. I think that would probably just be a straight intelligence check.
Okay. Don't feel late now. 12 plus 5, so that's a 17.
All right. What exactly are you trying to learn about their defenses?
Specifically, places that if things go south, we can escape.
So the defenses are generally built to keep people out. There's not actually a lot to try and keep people in. So it would be pretty easy to get out. You would be able to like climb up the backside of the palisade and just jump over. There are different, stairways that lead up to the top of it. All of the defenses are kind of pointed outward. So, it's kind of like any spike barricades. You'd be able to get past very easily because you're going the direction that they're pointing instead of trying to go against them. So would not be difficult to get out of here. If you're specifically looking for like a place that would be good to escape to, there are a couple of places that you see the forest is very close to the defenses, so that would give you the least amount of running through an open field if you're worried about being shot by arrows or something.
Kind of an important thing.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
Mono Inui has firsthand experience with arrows.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Also, the smoothie break earlier would count as a rest, so Monoanui, if you would like to spend one of your points to get all of your stamina back, you can do that.
I would.
Okay. So you guys are led on a ways, and eventually she takes you up a spiraling staircase that goes up the trunk of one of the largest trees. And she says, all right, when you're talking to... I think I would remember their names. All right. No, that was the other one. What's this queen's name?
Blackrock?
Harley.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to bring you to Blackrock and Harley. Just be careful what you say, especially around Harley. She can get, like, a little crazy sometimes.
Noted.
All right, so you guys are led up. Eventually, you reach the top. There's a large building built amongst the branches of the tree, and heading inside, you see a group of unicorns kind of around a table. They appear to be looking down at some sort of a drawing and discussing something in loud voices, but then. Once you are announced, they immediately quiet down. And, yeah, so, you see Yasuka runs off almost immediately toward a unicorn who looks like... Hold the image. It's probably going to be enormous again. Okay, it's not as enormous this time. Yeah, looks like this. So, black mane, red hair, red mane, or black coat, red mane and tail, a jagged obsidian horn, and kind of dark amberish eyes. And it's just like, Blackrock, it's been forever! Meanwhile, another unicorn. This one has the same kind of black coat, but instead of the red mane and tail, she has a dark gray mane and tail. She has the same obsidian horn, however. And she seems to be wearing kind of like combat boots and like an unbuttoned military style jacket and some armor, and she appears to be more of a middle-aged kind of unicorn, and she approaches you and narrows her eyes as she looks you over and says, huh, so we have strangers coming to visit. What do you guys need? I hope you're not here to cause any trouble or something.
Only Akalupu likes trouble.
Well, to be fair, I like trouble too, as long as it is not trouble for me. You weren't sent here by Luna or Celestia, were you?
Don't even know them.
Good. They are a cancer on this island.
Well, first of all, we were hoping you could help with some maybe magical in nature illnesses that we have only cream for. And also, while we're on the topic of magic, I want to learn how to do magic. And also, I want to know where my mom is. But all I have is this picture. She's got a golden horn. Do you know any unicorns with golden horns? And I just keep rambling on and on and on.
Calm down. Like, one question at a time, please. if you're looking for like learning magic or whatever weird diseases you have, I am definitely not the person to ask about that. But my daughter Blackrock can probably help you. As for unicorns with a golden horn, yeah, I know a few. I'm gonna need more information than that. And also, you're looking for your mom? Why would your mom be here?
Well, my mom's a unicorn.
So she looks definitely very skeptical about that. And she says, well, you don't look that much like a unicorn to me, and I'm pretty sure you're not polymorphed. But okay, if you say so.
I'm confused too.
Yeah, I can tell. Do you show her the picture of your mom?
Yes. Yeah, cat's out of the bag now. I'm not shy about it anymore.
Alright, so eventually you do bring the picture out and she looks at it, and now she definitely she immediately you can tell that she reacts to it. You can see her kind of tense up. And her already suspicious look becomes even more suspicious. She says, where did you get this?
My dad drew it.
So you're saying that your mom was Grace Glimmer?
Grace Glimmer? I guess. Who's Grace Glimmer?
Like only the Queen of the Unicorns. And like the only good queen we have had in like forever.
I guess that makes me Prince Unicorn.
Sadly, not anymore. Your mom is like gone.
Gone where?
Well,
Not state.
when I say gone, I mean like gone.
Oh no.
At least that's what I've heard. There is a rumor though that her tomb in the royal crypts is actually empty. But
maybe
nobody...
rather than dying, she escaped. And that's when I was born.
What do you mean escaped?
Like, got away from the island. How did she die?
That is a very good question. Unfortunately, the only two bitches who might know are too busy fighting each other over their stupid crowns.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it has been a mess. Come over here. And so she leads you to the table where everyone had been looking at the map, and you can see it is a map of the island. And she points over to the left side and says, yeah, so over here is Queen Luna. She has the lower half of the crown. And then she points to the right side. Over here is Queen Celestia. She has the upper half of the crown. After, I guess, your mother, if that actually is your mother, died or whatever, they split the crown up and they've been fighting about it ever since.
Maybe they plotted together to overthrow Grace Glimmer.
If they did that, they did a pretty bad job considering they refused to work together and hate each other's guts.
Maybe that happened after the plan went through.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna have to talk to them and find out.
Yeah, I don't either. They are both horrible. But I do know one thing. If you want to get into the royal crypts and find out whether or not your mother is actually dead, which, by the way, I very much do want to know that, You need the crown, and not just half of it, you need both halves of the crown to open the crypt. It is magically sealed, so that only the proper royal ruler can get in.
That's gonna be hard, it sounds like.
Yeah. We've been working on this for a while. I sort of have a plan, but it hasn't completely come together. So over here, and she points on the left side, Queen Luna, their side decides who should be the leader by who can kill some sort of like gross slime monster or whatever. So like that one's pretty straightforward to get a hold of if you can actually beat her to it, because she's like totally a big old cheater pants and has been rigging the competition every single year. And then she points over to the right side. And over here, Queen Celestia, their leader is decided by quote-unquote election. But technically, all you need to do is, like, actually, you know, have the crown in your possession. So, like, you could totally steal it if you were able to break in and steal it out of her castle. And then she wouldn't be able to do anything because of their stupid laws.
I love a heist. If there's a heist, I'm your man.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the castle is like pretty well guarded, so that's not gonna be easy, but probably easier than winning an election in this totally rigged system.
Gotta agree with you there.
All right. Well, it sounds like you and I are actually kind of on the same side. Do you want to work together to like burn down the system? Stick
Let's
it to the
join forces
man.
and steal some crowns.
Yes. So at this point, Yasuka and BlackRock have also kind of wandered back over. They've been, you know, chatting and catching up a little bit. So Yasuka, of course, they're very much polar opposites. Yasuka is loud and boisterous and constantly talking. Meanwhile, BlackRock seems to, you know, mostly respond in grunts and half-hearted cynicism. But yeah, so the two of them wander back over, and Yasuka is like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you guys are like hitting it off. You never know, Harley, like sometimes she likes people, and then like you remember that one unicorn who like came in and they were like sneezing on everything? And Harley kind of just laughs, and then kind of like her eyes go hard. After a second she says, yeah, what about it? Yasuka's just like, nothing?
I want to hear that story later. But Harley and I were just talking about how we think we need to steal the crowns of the two princesses.
You mean the queens? The princesses don't have crowns.
Yes, the queens.
Yeah, you know, we kind of have an inn. And BlackRock says, yeah, we like are like friends with the princesses or whatever. We could probably convince them to like, I don't know, help us.
All we need to do is get them to host us in the castles. I can do the rest with a little help from my squad.
Yes, alright.
That's when we do the montage where I go gather the old friends for the heist job.
Yeah, you have to like drag Akalupu out of the mud pit that he's rolling in. and then like snatch away another slice of mushroom that Mono Inui is just about to eat.
You can have this when the job is complete.
Oh man.
First, we must do a month of intense study as we gather intel and figure out the exact patterns of our target victims. Or we just go in and play it completely by ear.
I'm kind of more of a play by ear. Oh, that's actually not true. I think there's a happy medium between months of surveillance and one and all Akaluku style. You said something like that's high. Okay.
All right. And so Harley calls off to some unicorn that says, all right, bring the blueprints that we have. And so she brings over blueprints. All right. So which one do you want to go to first? I don't think the slime monster is actually in the castle. So we only really need to worry about Celestia's castle. But you will need to figure out where this slime monster is if you want to kill it before Luna does. Which one do we want to focus on first here?
Why we couldn't steal Luna's crown?
Yeah, she wears it. So, like, good luck if you want to try to take it off of her head.
That would only take the greatest stealth roll ever.
I mean, if you guys want to try to steal it, just keep in mind.
No, that probably won't work if she never takes it off.
Yeah.
But what about when it gets cleaned?
She cleans it herself, so she's kind of holding it. Yeah, she is obsessed with that crown. It's kind of weird.
There's no like banquet that we could attend while they're cleaning it underneath. Banquet, and we could like use some coins to get fingerprints to get into the basement. Then Sean Bean would be there.
You can try.
Have you guys not seen National Treasure?
I've seen National Treasure.
That's how he steals it in the first one.
Yeah, because no one is wearing the no one is wearing the Declaration of Independence as a vest.
That's a shame. The world is poorer for it.
They just like fold it up into one of those little paper hats and put it on their head.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm the president.
I think you become the king of America if you do that. You make it into a little paper crown.
You know what? I think you're right. I'm pretty sure I have seen that before.
Yeah, just, no one's got the origami skills.
All right. Well, regardless of our approach, we need to pick one at a time. So, which crown do we want to go for first?
Probably slime monster. Well, do you think if we took the slime monster crown, they would be more on guard with the other one?
I mean, probably not. They'd probably try to, take it from you, so you should be on guard.
And while they're trying to take it from us, we'll take it from them.
Yes, exactly. And then without the crowns, they will have to both admit that they are not good enough to be rulers of literally anything. And maybe all of this infighting can finally stop.
Hi.
BlackRock just snorts dismissively at that idea.
Hopefully we can find Queen Grace Glimmer, or at least prove that she's not dead in the crypt.
Yeah, I knew your mother. She didn't really like being queen. She felt like trapped and whatever. She actually disappeared for a while ago, so like that's kind of why I believe your story. But then she came back for a while and she seemed fine until just like she was gone.
Suspicious.
Yeah, nobody who like there was her royal physician was the one who announced her death, but then like no one ever saw the body, and now he's like dead, so like who even knows?
I say we go kill the green slime.
All right. Well, for that one, the main thing we need to do is figure out where it is. Luna is like very, shall we say, particular about things, and she won't actually go out to try and kill this monster until 3 days from now. So you have some time to try and find it, but like I said, it's pretty rigged. She almost certainly already knows where it is, even though it's supposed to be a hunt and everything. She probably has it chained up in like a basement or something.
Well, you guys live in the jungle. Do you know what slimes frequent?
Yeah, pretty much everywhere. They kind of like wet areas more than other places, but you never know when one is just gonna drop out of a tree on top of you.
Oh.
I should warn you though, this slime is not a pushover.
If it was Akalupu, Akalupu would have somebody who chained slime up for Akalupu. Could we find someone who knows where slime is chained up?
Yeah, if you want to know that, you probably need to go visit Queen Luna's castle. Someone there almost certainly does know. I don't think Queen Luna will be very talkative, but maybe you can find someone there who is, friendly and would side with you. I've tried to send a few different agents to scope the place out, and we've had some success, but most of them have really never made it very high in their hierarchy. They've just kind of been stuck as laborers or whatever.
Well, people said they were friends with the princess, right?
Yes, because oh
Akalupu
yeah,
thinks
totally.
we should ask the princess.
Harley says, yeah, that is probably a good idea. Even though if you want to get into the castle at all, unless you're gonna like sneak over the wall, you're gonna have to get an appointment. It's not the right word I'm looking for. It's when you get an appointment with a ruler. There's a term for that, but I'm not remembering it. Because words is hard. Anyway. But yeah, you'll probably need to talk to Queen Luna. Maybe you can convince her that you guys like totally are on her side and want to join her.
Akalupu needs food first before he joins anyone. Akalupu will see how their food is.
All right, so is that the plan? You guys gonna head off toward the left side?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
So at this point, it's probably around 4 or 5 o'clock. Do you guys want to do that today or spend the night at the camp here?
Let's hunt at night.
Okay, Monoanui's not tired.
All right, so you guys are planning to sneak in and not announce your presence, because going up to the castle in the middle of the night is not a very good way to, ask to see the queen.
Well, I thought we were gonna hunt the slime first.
Well, you need to know
Or was
where
I
the
mistaken?
slime is first.
We're gonna
yeah, I guess
ask
that's
Princess where the slime is, so
I
we
think
can
we
go
should-
kill the slime.
Hike up to the to the castle, spend the night in the woods just out of range of like the walls and arrows maybe of the castle, kind of scope it out, and then go up in the morning and announce ourselves when we've got more of a idea of where everything is and such.
That sounds smart. Very
I
logical.
like that plan.
So Harley says, yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I can't send you very much support because, like, some of the people here are known associates. But honestly, I think they'd probably let BlackRock in. You should go with them and support them. So BlackRock could just, fine. And then Yasuka's like, yes! Besties back together forever! And then she tries to do like the horse equivalent of a complicated high five, and BlackRock is just like being dragged through the whole thing.
To the left breast. No, to the right breast.
No, left. Queen Luna is on the left side.
Okay.
And
Luna
then,
for left.
and she's the one where you need to kill the slime monsters. If you remember what Yasuka said, she's the one that was described as she wants everyone to work together, but in a weird way.
Let's do it.
All right, so you guys head out with Yasuka and BlackRock leading the way. You have absolutely no trouble finding your way. And you go up the mountain. Here, things are once again paved. You actually cross a few other smaller villages on your way. And then you guys, sometime around 7 to 8-ish, with just a little bit of sunlight left, are now pulling up within sight of the castle. And it is a extremely imposing sight, especially for you guys. This is definitely the biggest man-made structure you've ever seen outside of the spirit realm. Obviously, it's kind of put to shame by the clock tower that Reginald and Monowanui were stuck in. But yeah, you guys pull up. The castle is surrounded by a moat. It has a drawbridge across it, which is currently down. Typical. There's no portcullis. They don't have a lot of metal, but there is a large wooden double door that is keeping things closed. The opening is probably about 15 feet tall and wide enough for 4 unicorns to walk abreast. The entire thing is made out of completely gray and featureless stones cut with impressive precision, and the entire castle is just gray and colorless with very brutalist design. So a lot of sharp angles, small windows, that sort of thing. It's the castle equivalent of a concrete compound.
May or may not have been inspired by the Soviets.
And then the whole thing is, it would probably take you about half an hour to walk around the whole thing. So quite large, tall walls. Dotted with towers, and there are plenty of murder holes you can see looking out
Yay. Murder holes.
It's a real term.
I know, I know. I just thought it just sounds so malicious. I mean, I guess it's supposed to, but
Yeah.
is there any apparent weaknesses just by looking at it?
Not just by looking at it. It looks pretty impregnable. The walls, like I said, are made of these stones that are cut with very impressive precision. So, I mean, PPOP could probably climb it with his spider climb ring, but that'd be about it. Obviously, you know Yasuka can fly.
That would mean their defenses are probably covered from above as well.
Yeah, they definitely have archers and mages up there on those towers and walls. I would definitely not suggest trying to like dive bomb in there unless you really want to get roasted. But yeah, welcome to Left Side Castle. Totally not a bummer. And at this, Blackrock, for the first time since you've met her, actually gives a very short, wry chuckle.
Blackrock, what do you think? Do we just have to wait it out and enter through the front?
That's probably like the easiest way in.
Yeah, unless we want to send someone over the walls to just like hide out while the rest of us go through the front doors tomorrow morning.
That sounds silly.
Yeah,
Okay.
unless you want to like risk getting caught and thrown in a dungeon.
Ooh.
Akalupu will cook the meat.
All right, so meals are made. You guys, are you trying to hide your presence, or are you like, you know, perfectly happy to set up a fire and all that? Because you can just prestidigitation your food to heat it and flavor it. You don't need to necessarily cook it with fire.
Yeah, I feel like we don't want to arouse suspicion, right? Because if they see some lights coming from the trees, they're gonna be like, "What?" Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it would raise undue alarm.
Akalupu's good with that. Akalupu will use some prestidigitation to make the food taste like his smoothie.
It ends up very weird trying to flavor your meat like vegetables and fruits. You're not sure how you feel about it. It didn't go quite how you thought it would.
Akalupu had to try.
Alright, so you guys settle in for the evening. Eventually Yasuka and Blackrock kind of head over to PPOP. What are you up to this evening?
I'm itching to climb that wall, but I know it's a bad idea. So I'm gonna not talk to Manoanui and Akalupu, the troublemakers, about it. I'm gonna talk to Yasuka about it.
Alright, so you find Blackrock and Yasuka then?
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like, hey, I totally could get into that castle if you want me to.
Yeah, you probably, so this is Blackrock speaking, you probably would need to be careful, like as long as you don't go too far, you could do some scouting, but like I said, if you get caught, you are definitely going into the dungeon.
What would I even get out of it?
Yeah,
Probably nothing.
pretty much. I mean, if you want to know what it's like in there, it's like the outside, but somehow even more depressing.
Okay. I think I better not, just because I can.
Yeah. So, Yasuka was like saying you're like trying to connect with your inner unicornness or whatever.
Yes. I want to be able to do unicorn magic.
Yeah. Well, I can probably help you with that if you want.
You would?
I mean, I guess.
I would love that.
All right.
Maybe we could even get started tonight while we're camping out.
Yeah, I guess I don't have anything better to do since my mom sent me out here. Alright, sit down over here. And so she, kind of gestures toward a spot near her. She's got kind of a little setup, kind of a little tent, and then like some little, I don't know, things laid out on the ground. Kind of like yoga mats, but they're not yoga mats. And so she gestures to one next to her.
Alright, I sit down.
All right. Well, if you are like secretly a unicorn on the inside, then like I guess we just need to open your chakra and like connect with it. So meditation is probably the way to go. Have you ever meditated before?
No. How do you do that?
All right. Cross your legs and try to get comfortable where you can sit in a way that like you can feel your connection to the earth around you, but then like you're still kind of comfortable.
Okay, I'm comfortable.
All right. Normally I'd say to give me your hooves, but like I guess that's not gonna work. Here. And you see a glow similar to like when Yasuka was giving herself her fourth finger after she had transformed before, except in this case it's across her entire body. And you see Yasuka transform into a human figure. Or not Yasuka, what am I saying? Blackrock.
Blackrock.
So Blackrock transforms into a human figure. And Blackrock in her human form, she's curvy. Instead of the black hair, instead of the red hair, she actually has black hair and very pale skin. And the clothing that she is wearing is a lot of kind of like lacy black stuff, very goth. And she kind of looks it over after the transformation finished, and Yasuka's like, "Oh my gosh, you did so good for your first time turning into a noodle monster." Thank you, I guess, or whatever. All right, hand me your tentacle hoof thing.
I reach out my hands.
All right, so she takes both of her hands. Immediately, you are kind of like noticing just how soft her hands are, and being this close to her, you're able to smell her. And unlike Yasuka, Blackrock smells like rose petals and candles that have just been snuffed. And she's like, "All right, now close your eyes and try to focus on your breathing." Breathe in and breathe out.
I start breathing super exaggeratedly.
No. Not like that. Try to breathe like normal, but just focus on the rhythm and like the sensation of the flow. Think of it as like the energy of the universe entering in going down into your lungs and providing you with the energy that you need to stay alive. And then you breathe it out.
Whoa. That's so profound. I close my eyes and envision that and breathe.
All right. So she leads you through this for a little while. And eventually, as you're starting to enter a state where you're, walked through these different steps and you're focusing on your breathing and then different parts of your body as you're relaxing. And then eventually she walks you through, extending your feeling of consciousness to what's around you and starting to pay attention to the sounds, but in a way that isn't focusing on a singular sound, but instead just the aural sensation of everything around you. And eventually, you start to feel as though you're no longer, just yourself. You're starting to feel as though you're a part of your surroundings. And then once you've reached that state, she starts walking you back the other direction. So she says, all right, now that you're feeling the world around you, try to turn that same sensation from the outside toward the inside. Imagine that you were looking at yourself from the perspective of a bird or a bug who's somewhere around you, or maybe just some a cloud, or perhaps a tree. Look inside, not just at your exterior, but try to look inside. Do you feel that there's something in there, like a core, like a bright energy?
I feel it.
All right, that is your chakra. Now, your chakra is the source of your energy. It's the source of your being. It's the same energy that flows through everything around you, everything in the universe. It is you, and it powers you. Now, think about that energy and try to focus it. Try to see whether or not that energy feels like you should be different, like you should be a unicorn.
I don't know what a unicorn chakra or a human chakra would look like.
Don't try to imagine the way that it looks. Imagine how you think it feels. Your eyes lie to you. What matters is not what you see or what you hear, it's what's real.
It really feels like it's both human and unicorn.
That makes sense. Try to tap into that unicorn side of things. Imagine maybe that you are at a river, and on one side, you have yourself as a human, and on the other side, you have yourself as a unicorn. And they're really the same person, but this river has been in the middle since you were a tiny little baby, and it's trying to keep you apart. But you look at this river and you realize it's not a rushing torrent, it's a little stream, and you can just step over it.
I can feel it.
And you do
I'm
indeed.
connecting with my unicorn side.
You do indeed feel it. You feel like a warmth suffusing your entire body. And strangely, you feel yourself expanding and changing. And after a minute, she goes, well, that's not quite what I expected. Yeah, you can open your eyes now.
That was awesome.
So, do you open your eyes?
Yes, I open my eyes.
So yeah, so you say, that was awesome, and then you start examining yourself, and at first you don't see anything wrong. You lift your hands up, yeah, normal old hands. There's your there's your your chest and your stomach, and your legs look a little weird, and you try to move a little bit, and the joints are pointing backward from normal, and they're covered in your legs are covered in fur, and you try to scooch a little bit, but you feel like you got a big old weight hanging off the back end now. And turning around, you see a horse's body. You are a centaur.
Whoa! I'm a centaur.
Now, I'll leave it up to you.
These things?
I'll leave it up to you. Do you want a little unicorn horn or not?
Yes.
All right. You also have a unicorn horn. And it is not very long. It's kind of short. It's probably about a half a foot long. So quite a bit shorter than those on the full unicorns that you've seen around. And it is golden.
Whoa. Just like my mom's horn.
Yep. And yeah, your tail and your hair has turned pink. Your tail is also pink, and you have not the same color coat though. Instead of the cream colored coat, you have a leafy green coat.
Now everyone is gonna believe it when I tell them that I'm half unicorn.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious at this point. I guess you can't turn into a full unicorn, but that's definitely a start. So Yasuka is like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. You're so handsome like that. It's like a little weird, but not that bad. And she has walked around and is definitely checking out your flank.
I bet something else has turned to a horse too.
Yeah, sadly, we're kind of like in cartoon rules where we just ignore that part, so
Oh man. I can't wait to show my friends. What are Manawa Nui and Akalupu up to? Are we
that's a good question.
In our own little tent?
So you're not in a tent. You guys are definitely like outside of Blackrock's tent, so that's up to Manawa Nui and Akalupu what they've been up to.
Manawa Nui's been in a tree looking at the castle, and then periodically getting down, going to another spot around the castle, and getting into another tree.
You're not going to have Reginald scope it out? I'm pretty sure you can do shared senses with him, right?
Okay, that's what I'm doing. That's a really... Of course that's what I'm doing. That, yes. I'm sitting probably cross-legged somewhere during, having that shared sense thing.
Yeah, so Manawa Nui is like leaned awkwardly against a rock. Like, he looks like he's dead, except you've seen him do this before. That's the only reason you're pretty sure he's not. He has his eyes rolled up into the back of his head so that only the whites are showing. And he'll occasionally moan something unintelligible. But yeah, so you've been scoping out the castle from a fairly safe distance, but luckily crows have pretty acute senses, so you've been able to gather some information. Indeed, Yasuka was not lying about the air defenses, so definitely not a great idea to just try and fly into the castle. And inside you can see there's everything is, like Yasuka said, even more depressing than the outside. The buildings are all very just plain gray cubes. You can see very neatly tilled land in a few places, both inside and outside of the castle, that seem to be used for growing food crops. And inside you see people with their, or not people, you see unicorns with their heads down going about their business very, very efficiently, we'll say. What about Akalubu? What are you up to?
Playing with the meats. Hakalupu is playing with the meats. He's trying to get that smoothie flavor to work on the meat.
All right. You want to do a crafting check, see if you are able to improve the results at all?
Yeah. It might be because I have it on mine.
Might be fine. Hold on. I think I got this.
Is that the updated one though?
You're level 3,
Okay.
and your crafting is a +5. So just give this little thing a roll.
Or you can just press the button.
Oh, yeah, that's true. A 19.
All right. It's a little bit better. It kind of is like going more towards salad as you mess with it. It tastes like almost more like your Impossible Burger if it didn't have the buns or anything.
The buns.
Which you feel like tastes better than the results you were getting before, but aren't really close to what you were aiming for either.
Hakalupu will take it for now.
All right. So no, none of your friends appear to be paying any attention to you. PPOP.
Well, then I can't wait to surprise them.
So then Yasuka, who is circled back around to in front of you, is like, yeah, they're gonna be so surprised that you are like the coolest one in the group now. Oh, your hair is also like much longer. It's like grown out to where it runs all the way down your back and partway past your horse shoulders. Yeah. And then all very suddenly she says, "Hey, think fast!" And the tip of her horn glows, and then a rock comes just flying out of the darkness at you. So, reflex save.
Reflex save.
It's you. It's just
I
payback.
crit failed.
It's just payback for what you do to your father. Your father.
Yeah, so you are completely blindsided by this. You just like, tense up and put your arms in front of your face, but then nothing hits you. And you open your eyes, and you see the rock is now hovering in front of you, and the tip of your horn is glowing.
Wait, I did it.
Yes! I told you you could, like, totally do unicorn magic.
Think fast.
So you just toss it back?
Yeah, I think about tossing it back.
All right, so you toss it, and you can see Yasuka, like, is going for it, and then Blackrock intercepts it, puts it on the ground. It's like, okay, children.
Yeah, I am a child. So what? I'm new to this.
Yeah, maybe try something other than throwing rocks at each other. Someone's gonna lose an eye.
Okay, Mom Blackrock.
Ugh, whatever. She just kind of like kicks the rock back at you. Do whatever you want, I guess. All right, so now unicorn form. It takes a full minute for you to change between your human and unicorn form. You can now do that at will. Clearly, with a minute though, you're not going to be doing it in combat, not unless you want to take 10 rounds. And in your centaur / unicorn form, you can use Mage Hand at will. So basically, anything that you would be able to do with your normal hands, you can do remotely, as if you were using Mage Hand. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Oh yes, your speed is 40 instead of, I think, 25 as a human.
Yes.
We're gonna ignore like what happens to your clothing, you know, Hulk style.
That's what I say. It's just the Bruce Banner treatment.
Yeah. So whenever you transform, whatever clothing you have on above your, like from the waist up, just stays because you're a centaur, and the rest of it magically disappears. And then when you transform back into a human, it's magically back in place. You don't have to, explode every single pair of underpants you ever wear.
Good.
And you might want to adjust your gear because the backpack is definitely kind of awkward as a unicorn. So if you could get something that you could, change between backpack mode and, or I guess you don't even have backpacks. Y'all have like bags. So you're fine. Totally fine.
It's called a purse.
All right.
Quick update. I have to go in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was definitely getting ready to wrap up.
Cool beans.
All right, so probably wrap up there, and we'll pick up next time. So let's go ahead and wrap up as always with let's do Akalupu first. What has Akalupu learned?
Akalupu learned that he should mash food more before he eats it because it's yummy.
There you go. You just need to get someone to pre-chew it for you.
There we go.
All right, and what about Manawanui? What has he learned?
Wanawinui learned that when it comes to diseases, Akalupu is a bit of a baby.
Yep. And I figured we'd leave this one for last, just because you probably learned the most. What has PPOP learned?
The benefits of meditation.
There you go.
Specifically, magic and shape-shifting abilities.
Yeah, that should be fun. We'll have to see whether PPOP is just like usually a horse now.
We'll have to see how much he likes being a centaur. It seems like a lot.
Yep.
Who wouldn't want to be a centaur?
Right? You get to move way faster.
How would he climb a wall?
But
Are his hooves sticky?
He's not going to be able to climb a wall as a centaur.
Yeah, do my ring slots just get, like, grayed out?
Not exactly. Your ring slot still works because you still have hands, right? But good luck dragging your horse body up by your hands.
That sounds hilarious, to be honest.
Well, you better start lifting now because you're going to need a lot of upper body strength to do that. All right.
Time to start lifting.
Exactly. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you all had a great time, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye.